Hello, my fiery friends. Welcome to another Fiery Fun stream. I'm your host, the Infernoman here, and hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Wait, hold on one second. Oh, hold on. Hold on one second, everybody. Looks like I have a small little error once again. Hold on one second. Hold on. Gonna pop away for just a moment, everybody. My apologies. Whoop. Okay, don't worry. I'm still there. Still there. Just trying to fix one small thing. All right, I should be able to come back online right now in just a second. Whoop. Wait, where are we at? Come on. There we go. Oh, there we go. Yay. Okay. I think we're good now. Okay, great. Phew, almost had a technical error once again there. So again, do apologize. We did have, again, some small errors getting started, so that's why we're a little delayed. But don't worry, we're going to get started right now with our decks. Let's go ahead, let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right into it and talk about what exactly we're going to be playing today. All right, so with that, all right, there we are. Awesome. So we're going to be playing today a classic from years past, although we're going to infuse brand new life into this deck. So what deck are we talking about today? Well, the classic from the actual paper format of Modern. So this is going to be Modern Jund in Timeless. So it's actually been a little while since we've actually played a full-on Jund deck like this, but why are we playing it now, you may be wondering? Well, we'll get to that in just a moment once I explain the deck tech. Before we get started, as always, if you do like any of the content that we do, any of the budget stuff we do, please like, follow, and subscribe wherever you are watching the live stream as we speak. We do appreciate your support for you just hanging out with us today. So, for those of you who are new to this and maybe are unaware of how we rock this, mostly how this works is we're going to go over, of course, the stats of the deck. We'll go over every single card. We'll explain to you, what our strategy is. Go over the sideboard, everything else, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll go into, of course, as many matches as we can. Because today we're actually not going to be playing, and I do apologize ahead of time for this, this is actually going to be not budget for today. So we're going to take a small break from budget building. We're actually going to get a little bit more competitive today with this build. We'll play as many matches in best of one, and instead of going into an upgraded one like we normally do, for the second half of the stream, we'll just play as much best of 3 as much as possible with this deck. So here's how we're going to be rocking it. Let's go ahead. Let's go over the stats of the deck first off, because again, longtime viewers of the channel know how we do it. We have to talk about the stats of the deck before we dive right in. So our quote-unquote Modern Jund deck, and you'll explain why, and I'll explain why I say that in a moment, is going to be, again, the colors of black, red, and green, so that is what makes up Jund. In the Timeless format, this will be an average mana curve about 2.0. We're rocking 14 creatures, 9 instants, 6 sorceries, 3 enchantments, 4 planeswalkers, and 24 lands. So, when it comes to those of you maybe who are a little bit on the younger side, if you don't know, Modern Jund was one of the biggest decks about, well, how long ago now? Oh geez, it's been a while. It hit its peak about 11 years ago. That was actually the heyday of this deck. However, Jund has kind of awkwardly fallen off quite a bit, only just because in recent years, a lot of cards have kind of power crept out the deck a lot, and it's actually kind of sad to see that. But again, I believe in what the deck is capable of doing. The idea with Jund back in the day, and this is kind of what we're trying to infuse into the spirit of this version today, is we want to play this deck on, it's going to be the most efficient cards that you can play on curve. That's the idea of the deck. You want to play everything on curve, play everything nice and precise, make sure again you're getting the most value out of it. Mostly it's going to be a lot of 1-for-1 trades with our opponent until you can just eventually beat them down with value until we can get to our victory. So that's mostly how the deck runs. However, the reason why we're playing Jund now is it's 3 reasons why. So we actually put together a version of Jund, I believe now 2 years ago in Historic. But there is a lot that has changed, and I mean a lot has changed since then. So the main things that we got this time around, the final card that arguably makes Jund what it is going to be Dark Confidant. So this came to us from the Final Fantasy set. I can't believe this actually used to be one of the most scariest cards you could ever actually put into a deck, and it's fallen from grace so much. Like, this card I think used to be like $50 a copy, and now awkwardly it's yeah, I think it's only like $7 now. So yeah, how the mighty have fallen. That doesn't mean, of course, the card is bad. It's still an amazing card. You just need to put it into the right deck to get the most value out of it. And I think now that we finally have this, we can actually put together full-on Jund. The other major upgrade that we are doing with this deck versus the previous version of the deck is we didn't have in the Historic version, we didn't have fetch lands because fetch lands did not exist yet in Arena. This time, however, fetch lands do exist, and we have a brand well, I guess it's not a brand new format anymore. The format Timeless has now made the fetch lands viable. So this is why now we're going to put this in the Timeless format. We actually have authentic fetch lands. So this deck is more faithful to the original build. However, because a lot of those cards still are a little outclassed, we're going to, of course, breathe new life into the deck in Arena by making it our own kind of variant of it, by still picking some of the most efficient cards, but still maintaining several core pieces that have always been throughout Jund. So let's exactly explain how that works. So first off, let's go over all the cards that were in the original version of the deck, and then we'll kind of explain to you again what are the new cards that I added into it. So the classics that we're going to be throwing in will be Inquisition, Kozilek in the first one-drop slot, and Thoughtseize. So these, of course, are your turn one discard spells, get a peek at what your opponent is doing, and then discard a card for them. Inquisition is great, and Thoughtseize is also amazing too. They do work a little differently. Inquisition does get you, of course, a non-land card with a mana value of 3 or less. Thoughtseize will get you any card regardless of the mana value. However, you do have to lose 2 life. Small price to pay in the early part of the game just to make sure we can throw away our opponent's key pieces. We'll have, of course, the classic here, Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt also is technically now a lot cheaper to make in Arena because thanks to the Final Fantasy set, there's a variant which allows you to make the card now for only commons, which is actually really nice for us. However, of course, since I did, of course, crack these a long time ago in rares, that's why we're using the rare variant today. Dark Confidant is, of course, the key part to help us just churn through our deck. So, talking about him real quick for those that don't know, Dark Confidant here is a 2/1 human wizard that says, at the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library and put that card into your hand. You, however, will lose life equal to its mana value. So, the idea, of course, with this card is most of our curve here is very low to the ground and just perfectly designed. So, this way, Dark Confidant shouldn't kill us. At least I hope not. But again, it's going to give us major card advantage as long as it keeps sitting out on the battlefield. It's literally just 1 copy is all you need just to get enough value out of the deck. I would highly recommend not to play more copies because it will destroy you very quickly if you're not too careful. Now, as far as some of the other classic pieces in it, we'll be throwing in, of course, Scavenging Ooze here. Scavenging Ooze are excellent graveyard hit in the main deck here. 2 mana, 2/2 Ooze, and of course, for a green mana, you can activate its ability, which means exile a card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, put a +1/+1 counter on the Ooze, and you gain 1 life. So good for stabilization at any part of the game. However, this may look a little awkward with one of the classic cards that you have to have in the deck. It's going to be Tarmogoyf here. Tarmogoyf here, for those that don't know, was also one of the biggest menaces of the modern format way back in the day. Sadly, of course, it has also fallen from grace, but of course the deck still can do pretty well even with Tarmogoyf even in 2025. For those that don't know, Tarmogoyf here is a 2 mana */+1 asterisk. I know that's kind of confusing, but again, it just means that this power for this card is equal to the number of card types among cards in all graveyards, and its toughness is equal to that +1. I know that's a lot of math to put in. Literally just means that if you get, like, say, an instant, if you get like a sorcery, if you get in a creature and an enchantment, like each of those are different card types. So that means this does power up Tarmogoyf as the game progresses. So you want as much variety and diversity in the graveyard to get value out of it. Now, with that, of course, we'll throw in, of course, the other 2 key pieces that make Jund what it is. Liliana the Veil here, classic planeswalker here. Tick up to discard a card, tick down to make a target player sacrifice a creature. Usually you don't want to ultimate it. Mostly just one of those options is just good enough for us. But if you do get to the ultimate, tick down 6 to separate all permanents target player controls into 2 piles. They pick 1 pile and then they have to sacrifice the other pile. So pretty awesome for us. But again, it's a very kind of mind game kind of thing if you can pull that off. Ideally, of course, just make your opponent discard and we still get value. And of course, the final piece to the whole Jund deck is going to be 4 copies of Bloodbraid Elf here. It has the Cascade mechanic. For those of you that don't remember, Cascade means that if you cast the spell, you exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card that costs less than what we paid for example, Bloodbraid Elf. So what that means is, since Bloodbraid Elf is 4 mana, once we do the Cascade, we can cast something of 3 mana value or less, which is nice because that literally will hit everything in our deck. So the first card that pops up, we can get it for free. And then once we do that, then we can put the exile cards that we just put off back into our library. So it kind of helps us kind of just dig out something again for free. Now, with this version of Jund here, obviously we had to breathe new life into it from the original because the original was just outclassed. I actually did test out the original one, and it's fun. but we ended up losing quite a bit. So we need to give it a little bit more of a power boost. And I think this version you're going to see today will be mostly what I think is going to be the best representation of Jund, while still giving it the classic feel of the original deck. So circling back over to the 1-drop slot here, we have Fatal Push here, because this didn't exist in the original build, but now it's great for us in this deck. So Fatal Push here, simply put, again, just spot removal for us. Trigger Revolt by then getting a permanent to leave the battlefield. You can destroy a creature with a mana value of 4 or less. That should hit the majority of stuff in the Timeless format, except for some of the bigger stuff, but we'll talk about how to get rid of that in a bit. Otherwise, in the 2-drop slot here, another major source of removal is going to be Assassin's Trophy here. This Golgari instant allows us to destroy any permanent an opponent controls. However, they get a free basic land out of it to put it onto the battlefield. Sometimes this comes back to bite us, but usually in Timeless, a lot of people have greedy mana bases, so sometimes this actually can be a free hit for us. We'll also then throw in 3 copies of Fabled of the Mirror Breaker here. 3 mana for this Saga here. It says for the first part, you could create a 2/2 Red Goblin Shaman. When it attacks, however, that Shaman can create a treasure token, so it gives us some pseudo ramping. Saga Part 2, discard some cards, and then we can draw that many cards. So up to 2 and draw 2. Then flip it on Saga Part 3 to make it Reflection of Kiki Jiki. From that side, tap it with 1 mana to then make a target non-legendary creature a copy of it, and it gets haste, but you have to sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. So time this well with something like, say, another Tarmogoyf here, and you should be able to make a bunch of big ones here to hopefully just beat down your opponent, and then hopefully win the game with the value it provides. So those are going to be the key cards that are going to help us, of course, get the most value out of the deck. In terms of your mana base here, we'll be rocking, of course, a Swamp, a Mountain, and a Forest. We'll then throw in, of course, Den of the Bugbear. Again, it wasn't in the original build, but this is still going to be good for us as a creature land to help us go wide and provide some blockers for us. Beseiju also was not in the original build, but still amazing in the deck and provides it provides a nice way of destroying either a non-land basic, or artifact, or enchantment an opponent controls, just to make sure we can just keep the board clear of certain things. We'll throw in, of course, the classic staples for Jund here, so the Shocklands, Blood Crypts, Overgrown Tombs, some Stomping Grounds. We'll throw in, of course, also the Surveil lands, a single copy of each, so Rakkus Theater, Underground Mortuary are going to be good for us just to kind of help filter other deck just a little bit more. We'll throw in 1 single copy of Zeator's Proving Ground here to then make sure we fix for all of our mana, or you can use it to cycle it away if you don't need it. And, of course, the fetch lands themselves that help round out the whole land base, so Bloodstained Mire, Verdant Catacombs, and 2 Woodland Foothills. So that'll be the main deck. We'll be playing, of course, in the sideboard the following options for us. So again, this is not the true variant here. This is what I think works best for Timeless. So 2 copies of Tormod's Crypt here, so they are free rolls for us just to exile the graveyard at instant speed if we cannot do it fast enough with, say, Scavenging Ooze. Extra copy of Inquisition Kozilek, and extra copy of Thoughtseize if we need to mix and match better. Another extra copy of Assassin's Trophy if that's more important for us. We have a small Wrath here with Brotherhood's End, dealing 3 damage to each creature and Planeswalker, so a low-level Wrath that works well for the Timeless format, and also can destroy artifacts with a mana value of 3 or less. Same thing. It, I think, works right now currently in the meta for the deck. If we don't need the Dark Confidants and maybe we want to punish our opponent a little bit more with them getting a lot of card draw, we could throw in instead Orcish Bowmasters, so an entire set of these because these are absolutely devastating against opponents. We'll throw in 2 copies of Sheoldred's Edict here just to make sure certain cards that we just can't deal with actual main spot removal just helps us get rid of either non-creature. We can either deal with creatures that are token or non-token or a Planeswalker. We'll throw in 1 extra copy of Fable with a Mirror Breaker here, and then finally to round out our package for the newly updated version, Kroaxa, Titan of Death Hunger. So in case we're just dealing with a lot of maybe spot removal on our end here, Kroaxa here can be brought in just to make sure we can have 1 big beater to slow down our opponent, smash away to victory, and of course discard some cards along the way. But that is now our version of the modern Jund deck for the Timeless format. Can our version today actually pull off some victories in this format? Well, there's only one way to find out, so I'm super jazzed about this deck right here. Hopefully this will be actually effective. We're going to be playing some... Wait, hold on, everybody, hold on. I think I played play version. We're going to play actually ranked. We do want to play ranked, so we want to see how serious we can take this deck. All right, here, ranked. So again, it's going to be best of 1 for the first part, and then we'll jump to best of 3 a little bit later on. But with that, let's get going here. All right, feeling good.
It's time to do.
All right, so... Now that we finally have the deck all out of the way, everybody, thanks again for hearing me on that. How are you feeling so far about now Edge of Eternities? As of today, the entire set list is out for Edge of Eternities. Do you look forward to the deck? Are you looking forward to rotation and standard? Or are you looking at other things you might want to brew for Edge of Eternities? Let me know. I will leave a poll up soon with some key cards that I'm looking at brewing with, and I want to see what you guys are interested in seeing for the first live stream for Edge of Eternities. Okay, in the meantime, let's see here. Okay, so we're a little slow on this hand here. All right, so we got 2 Liliana the Veils. No turn 1 play. So I think I might have to mulligan this. We can get Tarmogoyf down, but then we're kind of spinning our wheels for a little bit, hoping to get another peak. So let's go ahead and mulligan. Okay, Inquisition of Kozilek in the main part. That's good for us. We'll put back the Bloodbraid Elf. We can get that out later on. I do want to see what our opponent's doing here. All right, Plains. Throw to the consoles. All right. So it looks like our opponent here is going to try to slow our game plan down. We don't have that many creatures, and most of our creatures aren't super aggro in the early game, so this should be okay for us for now. Get a Blood Crypt out. So the only downside part is, yes, you will hurt yourself quite a bit with this deck in the early game, but once we stabilize, we should be good to go. Let's get a peeky peek at what our opponent's got. Okay, so they are playing... Wow, they're playing a lot of life gain. All right, so let's throw away the Soul Warden. That does slow them down quite a bit. Okay, opponent, what you got? Thankfully, though, we do have a Liliana waiting in the wings, so that should be here. Okay, so our opponent already has an Onslaught Pride. That's annoying for us, but we can still get around that card. We'll wait it out for a second here. So remember, the idea with Jund is we're trying to be as efficient as possible with our mana. Voice of the Blessed. Okay. So how do we do this here? I think our opponent's going to swing. They think they'll get the life off, but too bad, opponent. Bolt the cat. No meow meow for you. Sacrifice Burning Catacombs here. And since we are going to be going to our turn, we can take advantage of this. We will put in... let's see. Which one do we want? Actually, we'll get the Zeotor's Proving Ground. Okay, there we go. So now we have perfect mana fixed for us. Throw down the Wooded Foothills. We'll crack it this time immediately, and you'll see why. So with this, we can get down... Let's get down the mountain. Put down Liliana now. So again, it's all about the 1-for-1 trades. So, destroy their Voice of the Blessed. No, opponent. And now we have a nice little Liliana here to start eventually making our opponent discard. So this should be good for us. Ooh, Angel of Unity. Okay. Don't like alchemy cards, but it's okay. We'll still make it work. Resolute Reinforcements. Okay. Opponent is trying to go off here. Okay, let's see. How do we do this here? So one thing also to keep in mind is you actually don't have to tick Liliana up if you don't need to. So you can just keep her as is. And I think we should be okay here. Hold on. How do we want to do this? Liliana might go bye-bye, so we'll put down the Seiju. Play the Bloodbraid Elf. We'll try to catch up right now. Okay, we got a Fable in the Mirror Breaker. That's pretty solid. Unfortunately, the token is tapped, so that does give them some life, but that's okay. That should be okay for us. And we'll pass. Even if we tick up Liliana, it won't matter because Liliana is probably going to get blown up here anyway, so there's no reason for us to tick up with her. Opponent does swing one at her. Angel comes to our face. Okay. So this should be okay here. Okay, down to 13. They go up to 23. It does look a little iffy right now, but we'll be okay. Throw away the land. Draw a card. Okay, Verdant Catacombs. Not quite what I wanted, but that's okay. Play the Catacombs. Goyf comes in. He has a 5/6, so once he gets going, we should be solid here. Dark Confidant will now be playing because now they have nothing to remove it. So that hopefully should mean we can catch up now in just a little bit. Add a treasure. We'll go back down to 20. Okay. So again, we're still a little in the iffy spot here, but looks like our opponent has, thankfully, they've run out of gas, so that's good for us. This allows us now time to catch up. Opponent will swing. And then once Fable flips, then we can definitely have some fun here once we can start copying Tarmogoyfs. That'll be good for us. Down to 11. Okay, so with that, now we can craft Verdant Catacombs here. Alright, and then let's get out of Rakkus Theater. Surveil, which is nice. Okay, we don't need another Dark Confidant, so let's throw that away. Okay, get a Scavenge Ooze. Oh, that's beautiful for us. So this will help us restabilize. So this is perfect. What's nice also is Scavenging Ooze here doesn't need actually to be tapped to use its ability. We swing here big. Big swing. Okay, they block with the token. Down to 18. So, with that, I guess we'll play Underground Mortuary. Ooh, great. Fatal Push will be perfect for us for next turn. Okay, so I think we're set to win here. Ooh. Ugh. Not good. Heliod is a little scary, because he can then speed up the clock against us very quick here, but we should be good. At least hopefully so. Okay, so opponent will be now putting counters on stuff. Joy. But we do have a Fatal Push coming, so this should be good for us either way. Okay, let's eat their graveyard. This also gives us a nice big Scavenging Ooze. Okay. Oh, num 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 num. Okay, eating the nice, delicious creatures. Getting some life again. We'll use our next treasure. Take that Ocelot Pride. Alright. Well, the deck is definitely doing this thing. We're doing Jund things, trying to be as efficient as possible here. Okay. We'll lose 1 life because of the Fatal Push, but that's a small price to pay. Ooh. Oh, here we go. Okay, now we're... It's game now. This is now game. Liliana the Veil. Tick down.
With the mysteries.
It doesn't matter what they take, what they lose.
I've always hated.
And then Fatal Push. There we go. Nice. Okay, now we're set. And there you go, everybody. The power of Jund. We Junded them out, everybody. All right. Nice. That's literally probably the best representation you have of Jund there. Just play everything on curve. Eventually just get as efficient as you can, wear down your opponent, and eventually you'll overwhelm them with the value your deck can provide. That's a great example right there. We got to clip that one for future reference. But okay, there you go, everybody. All right, first victory of the day. All right, and also make sure to get your dailies done, everybody. If you haven't already been doing so, please continually keep getting all the gold you can, because again, Edge of Eternities is 2 weeks away. Well, actually, if you're playing on Arena, it's... Wait, what now? I think on Arena it pops out on the 29th, and today's the 18th. Okay, so 11 days away. Okay, wow, we're closing in quick. But okay, first victory there. Let's see if we can get this going still. Let's see if we can keep some more. Let's see if we can get some more victories here. I haven't had a chance to see the remaining cards from the set from previews, but has there any cards that have just been previewed that you're interested in seeing us make win in Arena? Let me know in the comments below, and I would love to hear from you guys. All right, so in the meantime here, all right, so, okay, so we got the Thoughtseize for the early part, and we do have a fetch land, so that make sure we can definitely get that out. Okay. Opponent. Opponent is playing Loris. Okay. Let's see if that's going to be something to worry about. Okay, opponents. You there? Opponents taking their time to think and make sure they have the perfect hand. Okay. Okay, Wooded Foothills. We're going to crack it immediately. Okay, so we need out... And again, this is the only downside about playing it like this, but we have to do what we have to do. So we shock ourselves. That is painful because the Thoughtseize also means we go down to already 15 life. However... Okay, so let's see. Our opponent... Oh, wow. Our opponent is also playing the... Interesting. We're down to 15. But yeah, our opponent is also playing some very interesting stuff here. Also playing Alchemy cards. Gross, by the way, but that's fine. We'll make it work. Okay, so in the meantime, that Fatal Push is also going to be a problem for us. Put down tapped. We don't want to take too much damage, so that's the only thing we got to be mindful of. Make sure not to get too greedy. With Bloodstained Mire. But thankfully our opponent also is cracking fetches, so that means their life total goes down too. You're missing out. Wow. Okay. Okay. There's a choice, opponents. So they throw a card away. They draw a card. Oh, the fear of missing out. Phew. Okay, FOMO down. Let's see. Put down the Verdant Catacombs, and we'll wait. The only reason I'm going to wait is, unfortunately, that Fatal Push is just... That's probably one of the major reasons, for those that are wondering, why Tarmogoyf here, which was once one of the best cards ever, also gets completely wrecked, because Tarmogoyf here, like, falls to Fatal Push very easily. Speaking of losing card... No, jeez. They're also playing a Thoughtseize, too. Alright. Well, that probably means our Tarmogoyf is going to go bye-bye. Or it could be the Assassin's Trophy, too. Oh, they threw away the Assassin's Trophy. Swift Spear Teachings. So they're still trying to give one of their cards haste. Annoying. That's fine. We'll make it work, everybody. Beseiju. Okay. Tapped. We're kind of out of gas right now, but we're going to see if we can still try to find a way around this. Okay. Dreadhorde Arcanist. Okay. Opponent gets a free swing here. So that means they're going to be able to do what? Thoughtseize for free? Oh, Inquisition. And people wonder why. Why do you hate alchemy so much? Because of stuff like this. It's just... It feels still very anti-magic to do stuff like this. I mean, technically, I guess you could make the card a real card, but it still feels a little unfair with how things are. Alright, we'll crack the Verdant Catacombs here. Okay, so let's get out of Surveil Land. This way, we can at least fix our next draw, hopefully. I'm on deck. Bloodbreak. Okay, beautiful. That works too. Okay. Stomping Grounds. Bloodbraid Elf. Come on. Get us back into this fight. Ooh, Inquisition of the Kozilek is good. Okay, what else our opponents got there? Okay, so they've got... What do we want to get rid of? Get rid of the Bolt. So this way Bloodbraid Elf at least survives. I suppose they could reuse it anyway with the Dreadhorde Arcanist. Which is, again, a little meh. Opponent, what you got? Opponent? Okay. Well, opponent here is taking their time to think about this. So, in the meantime, while they're doing that, question for everybody here. Let's see. Do we think Landfall is going to make a major comeback in the next rotation? What are your thoughts on that one, everybody? Let me know. Out of 10. Okay. Not looking too good here. Oh, come on. They had a third one? Jeez. These cards. Okay, so we have Dark Confidant, but it doesn't help us too much here. Because even if we put this down, they Fatal Push it away. Our opponent has a really efficient hand. So... Okay, more Spellmasters, yeah. So this is also another reason why Dark Confidant is also not as good as it once was. Okay. We lose it because the Orc Spellmaster just pokes it away. Okay, opponent, anything else? Bloodstained Mire. This one doesn't look good for us. Okay, opponents. Anything else? Cookie! Yo, Infernoman, how are you doing? I'm doing great. Thanks again for joining us today. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Yeah, long time no chat. Thanks again for joining us today. How you been? You're watching us right now get blown up by, looks like, what is it? It's like a Rakdos mid-range build? Very efficient, though. Dang. No love here. Opponent keeps reusing these alchemy cards. So they get the pump, they get the card draw. Feels very unfair. Okay. Anything else? Opponents? Bloodstained Mire. Probably doesn't do much to help us now, but we'll throw away that Arena of Glory. So we'll hit our opponent there. Cookie, thank you. My semester is almost ending, so I'll have a little bit more time to be around. Well, that's nice. And you're just in time, too, because very soon we will be getting some more cards to talk about coming up soon. Okay, Mountain. All right. Well, we're not dead. If we hit that Dreadhorde, I suppose we at least get rid of the Dreadhorde. Inquisition. Dreadhorde Arcanist gets blown up. but the prowess nonsense that was added to the card means that, yeah. Alright, well, that was absolutely wrecky. Jeez. Once again, everybody, alchemy cards. You love to hate them. Okay. It's fine, everyone. We'll shake that loss off and we'll move on to the next one. Hookie, I was sad when I couldn't be there when you played the Chocobo deck. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But, I mean, for what it's worth, you can still see the replay, and we did have a lot of fun with that one. I think that was our most popular Final Fantasy build we've had so far. At least the one that I played on live stream, so that one actually was a lot of fun. But it's okay. Don't worry. There'll always be another fun one to talk about. Okay, so we're going to load up our next match here. Hopefully, again, we'll have some more fun here with Jund. And once again, everybody, if you're interested in this build of Jund, don't worry. We will, of course, have in the details after the stream is over a link so you can check out this deck as well. But having said that, again, as a reminder, sadly, we could not get this under budget. I honestly thought about trying to get this under budget, but it just wasn't working. Every time I tried to make this budget, it was very underpowered, and it honestly wasn't very fun. So, with that, let's go see. What is our opponent trying to play? Got a swamp. So, Thoughtseize. Oh, Dark Ritual. Ooh. What's our opponent trying to do? Something degenerate. Wait, they Thoughtseize themselves? Are they just trying to throw away something on purpose here? They probably are. Oh. Okay. Okay, I see what they're doing there. Reanimate. Alright. So their opponent pulled off here their little shenanigans. Okay. There's really no way we can really mess with this, can we? Let's see. Is there anything in our deck that could actually stop this goofy combo they created? Well, I mean, get the Blood Crypt. Okay. Bolt them at least for 3. They throw away everything. They make us throw everything. Joy. This would be nice if I can get down the Tarmogoyf, but our opponent's now going to just do these shenanigans. So, for those that don't know, Sire of Insanity is a classic magic card here that can actually do silly things here. As you can see, our opponent was able to pull off this goofy combo here, reanimates things, puts us down to 10, and at this point, now they don't really have a card. We don't really have a card to stop this game plan here, so, alright, opponent actually got us with their cheap little combo. Wow. Absolutely terrible. But that is what happens in Timeless, so it is going to be full of things like that. Here we are trying to play fair, and our opponents are trying to be as degenerate as possible. It's fine, though. It's fine. Does come with the territory. Cookie, do you like Explorer a lot? I'm more of a standard person, or modern for the memes. Well, I mean, you did click in today at a good time, because this is kind of modern-ish? Kind of? I mean, I did put my own personal spin on modern Jund to make it work for Timeless. I do like Explorer a lot because I feel like that's probably the best format currently to, you know, brew around for budget reasons. However, thanks to the bannings we just got from from Standard, that definitely feels like a much more refreshing format now. However, we will wait on Standard until rotation in 10 days. Once we get to that, then we'll jump back into Standard because Edge of Eternities is going to be so much fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we can put together with that. So, good question on that one there. But don't worry, for those that are out there, yes, Standard will get some more love once we get to Edge of Eternities, because again, rotation happens. We'll have a brand new take on the format. It'll be a brand new, fresh feeling for the entire thing. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Hopefully, it'll be great. All right, so for now, though, we will still be playing here. Okay, Ladder Wooded Foothills. Sneaky Toilet, good afternoon, my fire friend. Thanks again for joining us today. Hopefully having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Hey, people, he says. Okay, so we'll sack our Wooded Foothills here. Let's see. Since our opponent didn't play anything, we can definitely now fix what we need. So let's get down the Proving Ground. All right. And Den Splinted, welcome, my fire friend. Thanks again for joining us today. Hopefully having a wonderful day wherever you're at as well. Okay, so let's see. What do we do here? I don't think we need the Dark Confidant just yet, but then again, we might. I think it depends on what our opponent plays here. You know what? Let's play it. We're trying to be as efficient as possible here. All right, yeah, the gang's all here now. All right, and I do see, of course, I know you haven't said anything over there, but it looks like I see BSpec TV over on Instagram there. I know you've been hanging out there. Thanks again for joining us today over on Instagram. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Let's see what our opponent is trying to do here. So, Dark Slick Shores, nothing yet. Okay, so at least we get one card extra out of this. Although we did take a big hit there. All right, so Scavenging Ooze. Okay. Anything, opponents? Okay, there we go. All right, we swing. Opponent, down to 18. Brainstorm, huh. Okay, opponents. What is our opponent trying to play here? They're playing Demir. We'll see. We'll see in a bit. What are they playing here? I'm not sure. Sneaky Toilet is saying it's very cold where he's at. Your fingers are numb? Well, wait, how cold is it over there where you're at? Dark Ritual. Ugh. What are you casting, opponents? 5 mana open. Well, technically 4, but 5 was... Okay, it's a Toxic Deluge, but they did take a little bit of life to lose. And they cracked more, so they're down to 15. So it's still anybody's match, but this actually is in our favor because of Tarmogoyf here. Thunder Trap Trainer. Huh. Okay. What is our opponent? Oh, they're playing the Flare of Denial. So, Tarmogoyf. Do they sacrifice with Flare of Denial? Opponents? Okay, so they do sacrifice it. We lose our Tarmogoyf. That's fine, though. We still have a fetch land we can crack if we need to with a Fatal Push, so we are still somewhat in an okay spot. Dark Ritual again. Oh, jeez. Demonic Tutor. Ugh. Opponent, what are you trying to do here? What kind of sneaky shenanigans you got? Oracle the out. Oh, no. We're not doing this Power 9 shenanigan stuff, so... Crack it now. We need to do this here now. So with that, we will get out... We've taken too much damage, so I'm going to get a Swamp instead. Fatal Push. Do you have an answer, opponents? I suppose they could have another Flare of Denial. Okay, so at least we got rid of the Oracle the Alpha. But unfortunately, our opponent did get the Power 9 into their decks, so... We're going to need a way to get around their shenanigans here. So, Fable the Mirror Breaker. Let's get some value back out of our deck. We're going to wait for Liliana here. Hopefully, we could tick down in just a bit here if they put a creature. Sneaky Toilet. Okay, so it's 50 where you're at. Okay, so that's kind of cold. I mean, I'm not going to try to downplay it and say, like, it's not cold, but it is kind of cold. Okay, Treasure Cruise. Okay, our opponent, I'm guessing they're a combo deck? Phantasmal Shield Break, okay. Okay. We can discard 2 cards. So let's discard the 2 cards here. Let's draw 2. Okay, so we got 2 here. Let's see. Liliana the Veil. Do you have an answer to this, opponent? If they do, we can Tarmogoyf our way out of this. Flare of Denial again. Okay. You draw a card. We lose Liliana. Tarmogoyf. Does come in. Nice. Attack. Okay. Down to 13 opponents. Meanwhile, Cookie right now is telling us that in Chile right now it is 30. Ugh. That's chilly. That's very chilly. Okay, we flip. We did get Reflection of Kikijiki off. Okay, let's Bloodbraid Elf. Even if our opponent counterspells this, we still get the Cascade to go off. Nice, we hit another Tarmogoyf. Opponents? Answer? Oh, they have Mana Drain. Jeez. Okay. Crack the Pollutive Delta. Okay. They have a Mox Ruby, too. Tap land. They Surveil. Our opponent looks like they're just trying to filter their draws here. but we'll see. Can we get there? Down to 5. Our creature land here would be great. If our opponent here does not have an answer, we win, but most likely they do. I mean, you cannot tell me with this many creatures, you're not conceding. Oh, they are! They did lose! Yeah! Alright, we did get the win. I thought we were going to lose right there, but yeah. Did we have fun with that match? We did. Nice. Very nice. We got the win there. Sneaky Toilet, yo, Ferno, you ever down to a match or a few when you're off stream? I don't want to be irritating if you're trying to finish decks. We can talk about that a little bit later on. I mean, sometimes I do have moments where I do need to test things out, but we'll see. That's something I realize I haven't had a chance to do too often here, because usually it's not that I don't want to face off against my fiery friends, but it's mostly just because I'm very sporadic with being on Arena. Usually on my own time, it's mostly me just testing decks like left and right, and then immediately jumping off and on just to kind of get stuff through. But again, I mean, if there's a time where we could do that, I mean, I'm not against it. It just, again, it really depends on timing, because my schedule right now, again, is completely erratic. Okay, right now, though, let's see. Play the Swamp. Inquisition to Kozilek. Let's get a peeky peek opponents. Okay, jeez, more alchemy nonsense here. Okay, what do we want to throw away from them? Throw away the gamble. So that means they can't really do anything just yet. However, that artillery enthusiast is still gross. So it looks like we're dealing with a lot of graveyard shenanigans. If we can get to our scavenging ooze, then these decks have no chance against us. But who knows how long that could be. Okay. Play the Den of the Bugbear. So we're a little slow right now. Our opponent does have time to find new things to throw away. A Thoughtseize here will be also decent too, but we'll see. Wooded Foothills, okay. Play that and pass. Let's see. Okay. Opponents? Nothing yet. Okay. Alright. What do we want to get here? I think we'll get a Surveil land. So we'll get the Underground Mortuary. So we have green now. Beseiju. We don't need the Beseiju now. We have plenty of lands. We don't need more lands. So let's pass here. Okay. Alright. Still not quite where I want to be, but that's okay. So let's play the Mountain. Bloodbraid Elf. Come on, Bloodbraid Elf. Give me a good hit here. Bolts. Okay. I guess the bolt can't be wasted, so might as well do it. Do 6 in 1 turn, so down to 14. Okay, so. Oh, you guys are having frozen feet? Yeah, I can understand that. But over here where I'm at right now, it's a nice. What is it right now? Looking at the temperature right now, it says 79. So yeah, I mean for me, obviously being a fireball, 79 is pretty nice over here. You guys should come up here to where I am. You'd be nicely warmed up here. Meanwhile, our opponent right now is running a little cold. Opponent, you there? Hello? Okay, Artillery Enthusiast. More alchemy nonsense. Okay. We really could use our graveyard hit right now. That would be key. But unfortunately, our opponent managed to get their game plan off here. So that means Vaultborn Tyrant will start getting things going here. Ugh. Not good. Not good at all. Okay, looks like Sneaky Toilet and Cookie right now are explaining cold in their area. Have a Fruit Brawl decks and Standard decks that I want to test. Figured we'd throw hands and figure out stuff together. Okay. Thoughtseize. Okay. Opponent gets a peeky peek and realizes we have nothing in hand. Oops. Do you have heaters running, etc. nonstop, or is the cold just a nice thing for you? Cookie, though, saying just like the cold, sometimes I do turn on a small heater. I have, but I mostly enjoy the low temperatures, except when they're below 0. Wait, does it get below 0 where you're at? That is too cold for me. Gamble. All right. Opponent is trying to gamble here. That Vaultborn Tyrant is just devastating for us, unless if we can get to our removal. If we can get to our removal, we might be able to pull this off here. Okay. Throws away a card. Tarmogoyf. It's a 3-4, so again, it's not the best to deal with, but it can still at least put up a fight. No attacks. Pass. Let's see. There's nothing else this card can do. I might have to blow up our artillery enthusiast with a fatal push. We'll see. We'll see. Personally, I'm not fond of the cold now that you actually brought that all up, everybody. I'm definitely more of a summer person. I know some people are like, there's no way you like summer. I don't mind summer, but I mean, hey, being a fireball means I do like summer. All right. I guess we'll just fatal push away the artillery enthusiast. Okay. I guess it's better than nothing. Not much else like we can really do here. Okay. Opponent, do you have an answer? Maybe? Fire exit scrapper. Yeah, just again, I'm not trying to go again on the rants about alchemy, but jeez, alchemy just. Actually, this is something I want to bring up. Now that you mentioned that earlier on, Cookie, I know you were asking me about Explorer, or I guess I could say now Pioneer. This is also the reason why I enjoy Pioneer. Pioneer is not infested with alchemy cards. Like the alchemy cards in here, in other formats, kind of make it a unfun experience. You can see now that they're getting free stuff here. Okay, come on, deck. Come on. We have one shot here to beat down our opponents. Okay, we need the Surveil land. Come on, deck. Give me hit. Okay, that's not the hit we need. Come on. Removal. That's not the removal we need. Okay. Okay. So I guess we'll have to do it this way. One shot here. If we can get this to work, we win. Make a token. Did we beat our opponent here, even though they have a Vaultborn Tyrant? Any removal opponent? No? We did it? Oh my god, we got through! There we go, victory. Alright. No reanimation for you, opponent. Denied. Yes, we did have fun with that one. Man, I honestly thought we were going to lose that one there. Alright, we got him. We got him. Okay, so that's good so far. We got our third win for today. And again, gonna keep emphasizing with all y'all out there, keep saving your gold. You still have about 11 days until you can start cracking packs for Edge of Eternities. Which reminds me, probably on the next stream or so, I usually don't do this too often, but we'll probably talk about the cards, at least on the next stream. I've kind of forgotten to know what is coming out for the set, so I definitely want to start digging into it and seeing what we get. Okay, so this hand is a little bit more on the discard side, but let's get a peeky peek at what our opponent's trying to do here. All right, opponents, what you got? Hopefully we can throw away a lot of key cards for them, and then Liliana can then just clean up. Okay, Thoughtseize is gone. Nice. We have a turn to get rid of that Psychic Frog too. So I'm still only just past 20k gold. Hey, that's more gold than me, because honestly, I'm still behind schedule. Not where I want to be at, but that's all good. Okay, opponents. Okay, so our opponent has 2 Psychic Frogs. They have a Subtlety and a Solitude. How... Okay, what do we get rid of here? I guess throw away the Reanimation. That probably was the most dangerous thing, because that means they could reanimate the Solitude or the Subtlety for free. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Opponents. Psychic Frog. Okay, another Inquisition. We need... Okay, we're a little awkward right now on the mana base. Usually we hit pretty well, but this time around we're not getting what we need. So let's see. Inquisition. That Psychic Frog will start collecting cards again if we're not careful. So hopefully here. Maybe? Okay, they do throw away a card. Opponents? Okay. Oh, they got the Atroxa. Gross. Boo. Not what I want to see. Okay. Opponents. So they're going to start doing some damage, and they will start drawing cards. We've tried to hold them off, but we're still not quite where we want to be at. Emperor Bones. Huh. Interesting choice. Okay. So, do you buy the regular packs or the mythic packs? Good question on that one. So, personally, I usually don't invest in the mythic packs unless if I'm really, really desperate for specific mythics, but usually it's not worth the extra gold. You'd be better off just saving your gold to get the most cards you can. Now, opponent just throw away, exile a card so they can subtlety us. So Scavenging Ooze stays on top. Wait, no, Scavenging Ooze stays on top. Okay. Okay, so our opponent is trying to stall out here. We'll throw away Atraxa. That's tapped. Okay, so opponent is still on the verge of destroying us here. Ugh. We're trying. Okay, so they do exile a card. Put it under Atraxa. Cookie. Is it rare to discard creature cards from an opponent's hand? Because maybe Duress is a better choice. Well, I mean, you can use Duress if you don't want to spend the wild cards. Like if you want a budget option, Duress is perfectly fine. It's just right here, we wanted to try to keep our deck in the, how do I put this? I guess I wanted to keep the deck more in the vein of, or in the spirit of what was considered original Jund. Unfortunately, however, our deck betrayed us this time. Dang, we took the loss there. It's okay, everybody. We're still hovering around Platinum 3. I'm still seeing if maybe we can rank up just a little bit here would be great. But even if we don't, we're still hitting Platinum, and that's perfectly fine to hang out at least to get you the most value out of this. Okay, so we're going to see if we can do maybe one more match in best of 1, and then this time around we'll do best of 3 for the remainder of the stream. We'll see how many matches we can win in best of 3. Most likely, I think Jund would do better in best of 3. Okay, so this time around, let's see. All right. Lots of fetch lands, but that does mean we can still fix our draws to what we need. We get a Fatal Push, which is good removal. Liliana also can help us discard, and Bloodbraid Elf can help us catch up a bit. Hopefully this should be good. All right, opponents, what you got? Bring it on.
It's time to do.
Note to self, when I can, I'll see if I can try to invest in maybe more sound effects and a bigger soundboard for myself. Okay, Verdant Catacombs here. Oh, Guild Gates? Are we playing against a Gates deck? That's kind of cute. Oh, okay, it is a Gates deck. Okay. Interesting. A Gates deck in Timeless? Well, spicy opponents. A little daring, but hey, kudos to you. I mean, obviously I don't want to think this is going to be a free win, but let's see if we can get a win out of this one. Okay, so nothing yet. We'll put down the Bloodstained Mire and pass. Okay. We'll see. Sneaky Toilet, I know you have commitments. I still wish you streamed more frequently. That was going to be a question I was going to ask on at some point as another poll. Don't get me wrong, I do like doing YouTube videos, but there was a small point where I thought, would it be better if I actually abandoned a consistency in my YouTube videos to focus primarily on maybe like streaming 3 times a week? Although that is a little much for me because there's other commitments I need to do. Let's see. Do we want the bolt? I don't think we need the bolt here. We already have a bolt in hand. We need to get to better action. Okay, Fatal Push is not ideal. Overgrown Tomb. Let's play Liliana. Let's start discarding cards.
Something suspicious is going on.
Okay. What do we throw away
I'm
here?
tired of your secrets.
I think we'll throw away the bolts. I have a feeling the Fatal Push will be more effective here. Okay, so they do have Uro. Explore. Okay, so it's a Guildgate deck, but our opponent is still playing with serious cards because they got Field of the Dead, and they got the Mace's End already. Okay, let's see if we can still get around stuff here. Verdant Catacombs. We'll get out this time Stomping Ground. Pay 2. Bloodbraid Elf. Okay. This is our chance to catch up here. Inquisition. For free. Come on, throw away something good. Something good. Okay, throw away an Uro. So they have to now bring those back. Take up again. We'll throw away, this time I guess... Okay, we have enough lands now, so we can throw away the Blood Crypt. Okay, opponents. We swing. Okay, if our opponent does not get a land, we should be okay with the Primeval Titan. Maybe? Opponents? Or they could bounce away Basin. Oh, nothing. Okay, Well, that helps us out a bit. Take up again. We might actually be able to ultimate with Liliana here, so this actually might be kind of fun. Throw away the... Let's see. We'll throw away the Blood Crypt. Opponent. Ooh, throw away the Fierce Empath. Okay. Bloodstained Mire. Ooh, we're closing in here. Okay, opponent. Down to 14. Okay. Let's see. Sneaky Charlie, can't you just run a virtual one with a different monitor for cheaper? Virtual soundboard? I mean, I can. I suppose I would need time to set that up. It's just right now, okay. I think I'll be honest, like, I think I would have to upgrade my computer set again, because right now, what's taxing my computer the most... Oh, yay! Our opponent actually gave up here. Wow, they were just... I guess they didn't have what they needed, so... I'll take the win there. Yes, we had fun with that one. So nice. We got another win there. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So to answer your question real quick, Sneaky Toilet, we do technically have a virtual soundboard, but it kind of pooped out a couple times the stream. I think the main reason is because I'm looking right now at the CPU. Right now, my CPU is right now getting taxed pretty high, and that's mostly because I think it's a combination of things. So, I mean, I have right now 4... I know, it's a little overkill. I have 4 monitors right now. We're multi-streaming to 4 platforms at once. And then with everything we have set up, it's probably putting a lot of stress on a couple things. I think probably the first thing I need to upgrade with my... If I was to do this again, I think I'll probably have to upgrade my actual... I probably need at some point maybe a stronger power source. Maybe a stronger motherboard. And eventually a stronger CPU. I mean, the CPU I have actually is pretty good. It's just everything's just getting taxed because I need more power. That's probably what I need right now. I probably need to save up for a new power source. But at the same time, the reason why I'm still kind of behind on that is I also need a new couch. I've been trying to save up for a new couch because let's say my old couch that I have got infested with fleas. Fleas from a cat that was not treated properly. So I had to deal with that for the past year. Fleas are a pain to deal with. Y'all ever had an infestation of bugs? Like, fleas are just the worst. Only just because fleas take forever to get rid of. Like, you spray around everything, make sure they get killed. Sometimes you have to do a whole nother layer of spraying, excessive vacuuming, and all that stuff just to make sure that everything's cleaned up. But thankfully, I think where I'm at right now, I was able to finally get rid of the infestation, but that means I lost the couch out of the deal. Like, I can't get that couch back because no matter how I clean it, I still feel like there's bugs on it, so I had to get rid of it. So right now, priority right now is trying to save up for a couch. Maybe then we can upgrade our computer again a little bit later on, and maybe get some more sweet stuff going on, but it's going to take a while. All right, enough of me rambling about my personal life. Let's go ahead, let's get this going here. Okay, we'll get the Verdant Catacombs out. So now we're playing best of 3 for the remainder of the stream, everybody. Guide of Souls. Ooh, okay. So this is good for us. This is good for us. So Guide of Souls here. No, opponents. Guide of Souls cannot go off. So get the Blood Crypts. Shock ourselves. We then Fatal Push away. Actually, hold on. We'll bolt it instead. Guide of Souls gets bolted off the field. Phew. Okay. We'll get another Verdant Catacombs. And wait. So at least this way we can get more value out of the Fatal Push. Cookie, Infernoman, have you considered to give away things to attract more people to your content? Maybe host an online tournament with a prize. Huh. You know, I've been meaning to do a giveaway at some point. I just don't know what I would give away for prizes. Like, I was going to try to do another one of those, like, small rounds of just giving away things just to get some extra value going. But I'm not sure. I'm trying to look at my shelf of things of, like, maybe there is maybe, like, 1 or 2 pre-cons that I have saved up that maybe I could just give away. Maybe something cute that I'm sure some people would enjoy. Fatal Push away the Ocelot Pride. Crack the Verdant Catacombs. Let's get out this time. Let's see. What do we want? Let's get out the Underground Mortuary. Surveil. Okay. Tarmogoyf is nice. We can play now the Forest. And Liliana the Veil. take up
Nobody
one.
knows Dominaria's shadows
Throw away the
like you
Overgrown
won't
Tomb.
be outsmarting me.
Okay, they threw away land. That's fine. But yeah, at some point, it's going to happen. We will try to see if we can get at least maybe one thing going there. Static Prison. No. All right, so Liliana goes bye-bye for now. Annoying, but that's okay.
like you to leave.
Tarmogoyf. We ain't getting past our big boy. So, let's see. If our opponent tries to get in with Ragavan, we could Fatal Push it away. So, what's our final card, opponents? Okay, Ragavan goes bye-bye now. Okay. Do we swing? I guess we'll just start swinging to put pressure on our opponents. Down to 10. Okay. But yeah, I think there's maybe one thing I could probably give away. I'll have to kind of figure out how I want to do this appropriately, because I want to make sure I don't mess it up. Opponent here. I guess they did get a free hit here with Ragavan. Boo. Okay, so they took a bolt from us. So they bolt her face. Okay, they bounce away Ragavan. But we can now force them to throw away Ragavan. Okay. Down to 6. Okay, tapped. All right, now it becomes a top deck war. Opponents. Guts us to 5. Oh, jeez. Come on, deck. Okay, we'll have to hold off here for a bit, because I don't know if they have any more Ragavans, and if they do, then we would be losing. Orcish Bowmaster. Okay, so they did have a creature. Ping us to 4. Okay. It's still close. Come on, deck. Wow. We're going to lose here because we fluttered out. Wow, I'm really surprised. That's a shame. Oh. Well, they take 2 because we actually only had a land in hand. Dang, but we still lose, though. Even if I block here Ragavan, they still hit us for 4. Alright. Well, we came close on that one. That was a tight one, though, but that's okay. We're still going to go to game 2 here. So, now that we know what they're doing... Okay, so we can bring in Brotherhood's End, so that's good for us. We don't want to hurt ourselves too much, so we're going to throw away the... We'll take away the Thoughtseize there, but we'll put in the 4th Inquisition. See here. We can... I guess the Shieldred's Edict would be good here, too. Drop the Assassin... Actually, no. Maybe the Assassin's Trophy might help us out here a little bit here. I'm worried Liliana might be too slow, so we'll trim her out. Bring in the other Assassin's Trophy and... Croaxa? Oh, actually, maybe Fable... Actually, I don't know. Maybe keep Fable? Cookie, Infernoman, gotta go. Have fun streaming. Good luck with the games. Okay, well, thanks again for stopping by as always, Cookie. Have a wonderful day, and always be sure to burn bright. Later. Okay, so let's see here. Let's keep this right here. Okay, so we're going to go to game 2 here. So we threw in all of our Wraths. We threw in a little bit more removal, so hopefully that should be enough to stop our opponent. Brought in an extra Assassin's Trophy to deal with the static prisons. All right. Be on the play here. All right. Inquisitions, Fatal Pushes. Okay, so it's pretty much just the discard and control hand. But this should be fine for us. Opponent is going to be doing some mulliganing. Okay. Okay, opponent, what you got? Okay, so with that, Swamp. Inquisition. Let's get a peeky peek. What you got, opponent? Okay, throw away the Ocelot Pride. And then next... Okay. We can... hit 2. Inquisition again. Let's see. What do we want to make sure they don't get value off of? Let's see. Throw away the Amped Raptor. And pass. Okay. So. It's going to be now a top deck game a little bit faster than I thought. Okay, opponents. Anything else? Okay, Rackus Theater. They surveil. Throw away a land. All right. Okay, so opponent is obviously going to play a Johnny, but we can blow up the Johnny pretty quickly, so that's not a problem for us. They go to 18. Okay. Sneaky Toilet, any deck come to your mind and work way better than you expected to that you made? That's a good question on that one.
Nothing is more important than family.
I have to think about that one for a little bit. Let's see. Verdant Catacombs. Yeah, something to think about for a moment there. Forest. Let's get Fable going so we can get some more value. Even if we lose here the Goblin, that's perfectly fine. Guide of Souls. Okay. Opponents. No blocks. We'll take the damage. We want to start putting out more here. All right. Den of the Bugbear. So let's throw away just the Bloodstained Mire. Draw. Okay. Awkwardly, we can't play the Bloodbraid this turn, but that's fine. Actually, wait, we can. I forgot we get a treasure out of that. Nice. That was a nice mistake. A Bloodbraid Elf. All right, get the value here. Ooh, Brotherhood's End. Okay, well, that's perfect. So, deal 3 damage to each creature and Planeswalker. We lose our Shaman, but that's a small price to pay, because Bloodbraid Elf now replaces it. Beautiful. Static Prison. All right, so that means we lose our Fable for a couple turns, but that's okay. All right, value train's still coming. Bloodbraid Elf. Pretty good card. Croaxa. Forces our opponent to lose their last card, unless they want to play it now. Orcish Bowmasters. Okay. They ping the Bloodbraid Elf. They take 3. We swing here. Do they block? They do. We gotta keep the pressure on our opponent there. They're down to 8. We're at 15. And also this means we have enough cards now where Croaxa can come back. We also have, thankfully, a Fatal Push to also finish off our opponent here. Opponents. Ooh, another Bloodbraid Elf. Okay, this has been actually pretty nice. The value keeps coming. Nice. Sheoldred's Edict off the top there. Okay, so non-token creature. Oh, Galvanic Discharge. Wow. Okay, well, it's a slugfest at this point. We're just hitting everything we can. But we still have the tempo on our side. Down to 5 opponents. Oh, we can get at least one more red or black source. We got this here. Opponent here trying to get in with the Ragavan. They bounce it away. Okay, so we have 2 Fatal Pushes here. Down to 2. So we have 2 shots here to hit them with whatever. Okay, opponent, what do you play? Ragavan is coming in. I'm going to try to swing it here, but Fatal Push that away. Nice. Whew. A Johnny. Okay, so make sure he doesn't flip.
Where shall we hunt today?
Wow. It's literally been back and forth for us. Oh, beautiful here. Oh, nice, nice, nice. Yes. Hit ourselves here. Croaxa. Exile 5 cards. Hit him for 3, and that is the victory for game 2. All right, we made a comeback there. Okay, yeah. Let's run it back. I think this feels pretty good. All right. So, right now, we're looking really good with our deck. I think this version of Jund actually feels really good for us. What are your thoughts so far overall on the deck, everybody? We will, of course, as always, do evaluation of the deck once we are done. But so far, it feels like a really good version of Jund in Timeless. If I only had the money, though, I actually would build this in actual paper itself, but it's just too expensive. I think this deck right now, off the top of my head, the calculation, what, like $600 to put this whole deck together, which is way too much money, by the way. Maybe if I waited like 10 years to put it all together, I probably could do it. Okay, in the meantime, instead of me just wishing for decks here, let's actually play a deck. Okay, so game 3 here of this match. Can we get the victory here? Thoughtseize off the top. Okay. Well, I mean, that is kind of Jund for you. It is high risk, high reward, because it is a deck that you really want to be tight on your gameplay with. That's mostly what it comes down to, is just... That's how Jund is. You're literally doing a lot of 1-for-1s with Jund to get value out of the deck, and eventually you overwhelm your opponent once you get the momentum on your side. But it does take a while. Thoughtseize again. Okay, so... I guess we'll fill up our graveyard, because now we're going to have to focus on the Croaxa plan here. Let's see. Take 2. Guess we'll bolt our opponent's face. They go to 11. We lose our Tarmogoyf, but they're down to 9 already, so that's a pretty fast clock. Okay, Blood Crypts. Let's see. Well, I don't want to do it this way, but we're going to have to do the damage. Croaxa. Make our opponent discard a card. They had another Ragavan. Annoying. Okay. So, now we just need to actually get our mana base going. And I think we might be able to pull off some stuff here. They took a swamp from us. That's fine. Ocelot Pride. Monkeys and cats abound, everybody. Okay.
To the hunt.
Okay. Fable's not bad here. So... Ugh, it is painful. But we have to do it. So Fable off the top there. We can throw away the 2 lands. We can bring back Croaxa after this. But we got to hold off for 1 turn. Okay, here we go. They swing. If they make that... Okay, Okay, what's the worst thing they can do to us here? The Ajani, I don't think we can flip. We might have to take the hit from the Ragavan, which I don't want to do, but it is what it is here. Okay, Orcish Bellmasters. Hit for 1. They gain the life. Ajani does not flip, but they get to make a ton of tokens. Okay, opponent. Inquisition. They stole that from us, but that's okay. Yeah, that is one of the awkward parts about Jund is you do hurt yourself a lot with the land base, but you want to make sure you fix everything ideally. We'll throw away our 2 lands here. We will take a hit here, by the way. Oh, but that's good, though. But we still managed to get at least the Brotherhood's End. So. Okay, so. You are right, Sneaky Toilet. High risk, high reward, but no pain, no gain. Brotherhood's End blows up the whole board. Okay, there we go. They go to 9. So I guess they're trying to get... What is it? They got Rakkus Theater too, so they surveil. Those surveil lands are really good. But okay, wow. Whew! That was too close. So we're not dead yet. It's still anybody's game here. Ajani. Alright. Okay.
Prove my worth to my pride.
We go there. We flip. We surveil. Verdant Catacombs. Throw that away. Fatal Push Ajani. So he does not flip no matter what. So we can afford to lose Reflection of Kiki G. Onslaught Pride. Okay. Bloodstained Mire. Okay, so here we go. Eat up 5 cards. There we go. Now we have... This is why I put Crocs into the deck. Oh, man. What a good card, by the way. Bloodstained Mire. Okay, so if our opponent tries to swing, they lose Ocelot Pride, so... We do have a... Oh, jeez. They actually have a second one. Ugh. Okay. Can't afford to have it do its thing, so we'll have it die. Okay, they go up to 7. They do make a cat token, though. 2 cat tokens. Go to 3. Come on, deck. Okay, get the Rakkus Theater. Man, this is intense. Dark Confidant. Ugh. I don't think Dark Confidant's going to help us at this point, so we're going to throw him away. Really didn't want to do that, but okay. Let's see. We swing, we lose. So, no attack yet. Okay. Come on, deck. No! We just lost. Oh, wow. Off the top, he had the Static Prison. Wow. That was a top deck. Ugh. Oh, that was painful. Man, we almost got there. All we had to do was hold off for a turn or two, and I think we could have stabilized and gotten the win, but wow. What a game, though. That was a good game, though. I will say that. If nothing else, that was a good game. I'll give that to our opponents. It's okay, though. Didn't like to lose, but that's okay. Okay, so with that... Oh, get a free card. Cool. Let's get a couple more best of threes. At least a couple more. But overall, deck definitely feels pretty good, even in best of three. I guess I would have to debate if I want to modify certain things in the actual... I don't know if I want to modify the sideboard a little bit there. And you did make a good point, Sneaky Toilet, of, it is a painful mana base. So I don't know if I want to make more tweaks to it to make it a little better. But you really want to play the deck aggressively and make sure that you're really tight with your plays. That's kind of, again, one of the downsides to a deck like this is it can be very painful to get all those pings at you, but the cost, of course, is you do get to fix your mana very well to make sure you can cast everything on time. The linchpin to the deck, of course, is just making sure you do play everything on curve, ideally as much as possible. We can fudge it a bit, as you've seen with the Surveil lands and the cards like Fable of the Mirror Breaker that make us treasures, so that does help us out a little bit here and there. But overall, you just want to make sure you can get everything off as easily as possible on time. So we're going to be a little slow here because the Tarmogoyfs will have to take a turn, and we don't have a turn one play, but that's okay. That's fine. We're good with this one. If we can get to another land, then we should be set here. Okay, Swamp. Knight of the Even Legion. All right. Oh, nice. We did get a Fatal Push. Beautiful. So we're going to wait here to see what our opponent plays. So we do manage to get a turn one play. All depends on what our opponent plays here. Infuriate. Okay. Well, that's fine. Take a swing. I mean, that's cute, opponent, that you want to try to pump up your thing, but you will get denied in just a second here. So we don't want to take too much damage, but, I mean, we did come here for a reason. So we are going to shock ourselves. Knight of the Even Legion goes bye-bye. There we go. Okay, so with that, Dark Confidant. Shock ourselves. Tarmogoyf. So we got our own big beater down here. 3/4's nothing to sneeze at. Okay, Temple of Malice. Okay, so they're playing Scrylands. That's cute. In my opinion, Scrylands should actually be uncommon at this point. They provide good value, but realistically, they honestly should be cheaper by this point. At least by this point in the game's life cycle. Let's get out. What do we want to get out? Actually, let's get out just a plain mountain. So for this one, we'll get Fable. Fable's always good value at any point in the game. And this hopefully should, even if we don't get our land drop here, that treasure token can help us out with a Bloodbraid Elf. So we're good. We're doing really good. Goes down to 2 cards. Nice. Okay, our opponent does let us swing here. So let's see. We can throw away some stuff if we don't need it. But you know what? I'm going to decline. Swing here. Get our treasure. Opponent, do you have an answer? They do. They have Murderous Rider. Oh, okay. Interesting. So here's what we're going to do to fizzle it. Actually, no. Yeah, we'll do it this way. We're going to fizzle our own card here. So that does mean they don't get Murderous Rider back at all. Okay. Tarmogoyf. Now's a 4/5. We'll keep the treasure just in case for next turn. Knight of the Even Legion again. Opponent, you're out of answers. So I guess it's a Rakdos Knights deck? That's kind of cool. I like that idea. But let's see. Actually, let's play another Fable. Keep the value going. Just in case we do need more treasures, because we're not hitting our land drops, but that's okay. Opponents? I plays Paragon. Ooh, okay. Okay, do they block? They do, okay. So we lose our Tarmogoyf. Annoying, but that's fine. We can still get through with what we have. Okay, opponent, Dreadboard off the top. Wow, okay. But no swings for us, which is good. We can discard now the Inquisition. I don't think we need the Dark Confidant anymore. Draw 2. Okay, so we did get our land drops now, which is good. Let's play Liliana. Tick down with Liliana. Say goodbye to your knight, opponent.
Off you go.
Get another treasure token. Down to 21. Still have a bit of ways to go, though, before we can completely win this match, because they're still at a pretty high life total. I guess another Dark Confidant's not bad. We'll tick up just in case we need to tick down for the next turn.
Drop it.
And then Bloodbraid Elf. Cascade. Ooh, beautiful. Fatal Push off the top. All right. All right. We're getting there. Take our next treasure down to 16. Dark Confidant, now that we're completely out of lands and out of cards, now we can refuel. Okay, so Dark Confidant is perfect now at this point. And I think at this point we have control of this match. I think our opponent is cooked. Okay, so with that, you know what? We will... Oh, I was going to cash in Liliana there, opponents. Okay, so we took first game. Okay, so if our opponent is playing a Rakdos Knights deck... Okay. They didn't seem like they were playing anything that was too high mana value, so we're going to go to just Inquisitions. Fatal Pushes will be great in this deck. Keep the Bolts. Scavenging Goose is fine. Tarmogoyf, I feel like they just got blown up a lot, so I don't want to cut them, but at least for our deck, let us throw in another Fable. Bring in the Shield's Edicts. I think, let's see. Is this the Bowmaster game? I think so. Okay. Put in the Bowmasters. We'll trim one Dark Confidant. Actually, trim that and actually put in one Croaxa. Okay. Let's do it this way. Okay. So we have a little bit skewed more towards the control package. We didn't put it on our Rasp because they didn't really go wide, but it should be enough for us to stop our opponent with their game plan. Okay, good. We got the turn 1 Inquisition. We got the Assassin's Trophy, Croax's Fable. Perfect. Definitely a lot of fuel here once we can get things going. Temple of Malice. Opponents. Overgrown Tomb as well. Blood Crypts. Let's get a peeky peek. Inquisition of Kozilek. Okay, yeah, it's definitely an all-knights deck. Alright, get the Thoughtseize out of the way, because we don't want them to discard our stuff. Okay. Opponent, Feverin Champion. That's cute. Okay, got Underground Mortuary, so we will have to shock ourselves here. Not ideal, but it is what it is. Okay, make them throw away a card. Which knight do they throw away? Okay, Black Lane's Paragon, that's fine. So, Fable next turn. I think we'll go from there. Okay, opponent swings. Bloodbraid will be good in the future. Overgrown Tomb. We are taking a lot of damage here. But if it works, I think we can get this all off here. They do have one sort of once in future. Interesting. They'll probably put that on Fever Champion. Okay, they do. Okay, big swing here from our opponent. Ugh. Their plan is actually working this time around. Well, I don't want to take too much damage here, so we're going to have to block here. Okay, down to 9. Okay, so Croaxa, we can... Hold on. I think we'll throw away the 2 Surveil lands. Draw 2. Another Inquisition. So, this is going to be a risky move here, but we're going to try. Get a mountain because we can't take any more damage. Bloodbraid Elf. Come on. Hit. Give us a hit. Dang, that's not what I wanted. I guess we got to at least try to throw away something else they have. I was hoping for removal. Oh, Monstrous Rage. Whew. Okay. Well, I guess that keeps us alive a little longer. Sort of. Okay, so at least now we have at least enough in the yard where we can bring that Croax if we need to. Oh, they have a Dreadboard. Oh, come on. Really? They actually have that off the top? Okay, Bone Splitter on top of Fervor. Okay. Wow. Their plan's actually working. I'm a little baffled here. Their plan feels like it shouldn't work because of how janky it is, but it is doing its thing. I guess I shouldn't be mad. I should be applauding them for pulling off something like this. Okay, Thoughtseize. All right. What did they throw away? Assassin's Trophy? Most likely. Yep. And we lose. Okay. Well. Huh. Maybe we do need the Brotherhoods in it after all. Okay. So. How do we do this here? Or maybe the more... I don't know if the Tormod's Crypt is actually what we actually need. I suppose we could trim the Bloodbraid Elf and keep ourselves low to the ground just to focus on just getting rid of their stuff. I guess we could do that. Let me think about that for a second. Okay. Let's see. Maybe trim one Fable. Put into... Or maybe we'll just drop that and just put in the Tarmogoyf. Okay, I think we'll do that. Question, Sneaky Turtle, favorite song currently? That's a good question. What would be my favorite song right now? I'm not sure. I haven't actually been listening to anything currently that I could think of. Give me a moment to think about that while I also try to formulate a game plan against our opponent here. So we don't have the turn 1 Thoughtseize. Annoying. But we do have a lot of removal, which could help out Tarmogoyf once he hits the field. Shock ourselves and pass. Give me a second for that one. Knight of the Even Legion, okay. Okay, bolt that away. Still thinking. Let's see, we will play a Forest. Play Tarmogoyf. Accelerate 2-3. Okay, opponents. Dragon Skull Summit. Knight of the Even Legion, number 2. Okay, Tarmogoyf again. So, let's see. Opponents. We will... Fatal push it away. Unless you got something else, opponent. Do they have to fatal push? Okay. Still a 2-3, but that's still going to be decent with us. Down to 18. Another Dragon Skull. Okay. Starter Champion. Opponent swinging. A little cheeky there, but I'll let it go. I don't know what they have in hand, so I'm going to anticipate they have Pump. We saw that they have Pump out overall. Infuriate. So they did have Pump. Okay. Den of the Bugbear. Down to 14. Okay, well this now feels like a slugfest. Nothing super crazy going off here, but... Oh, Sheoldred's Edict, so in that case... Okay, well, we don't have a choice there, so... Make them lose their knight now. Okay. Got him. Got our opponent there. They take 2 for us, and that pumps up our Tarmogoyfs. Okay. Bloodstained Mire. Okay. So we'll shock ourselves. We're going to get super aggressive here because we're very close to closing this out, and I think we can beat our opponent here. Get a token. Down to 2. Do you have an answer, opponent? Because you're about to lose this game right here. This match might be ours, finally. Dreadboard. Okay. And that is it. Our opponent ran out of options there, and we get the victory there for us. Yeah. Victory. All right. Nice. Very nice. Okay. So, just FYI, everybody, we did start a little bit late today, so I'm also going to say right now, and I do apologize, we're going to have to be cutting it short in a little bit. Let's do one more game. Win or lose. This is still going to be best of 3. We'll do our wrap-up like we normally do still. Only just because, again, And I apologize, it wasn't anybody's fault, it's just we did have some technical issues once again, but we are also on a very tight schedule today. So that means once I get through this last match here, there's a bunch of stuff I have to take care of. But we will do that. We'll still do our wrap-up. We'll talk about, again, what is to come in the future for the next several future videos and stuff like that. But I do still appreciate all of you that are watching today, wherever you're watching, whether it's live or on the replay. And if you, again, like what we do, if you like budget content, which we normally do except for today, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe wherever you watch the content so you don't miss on any of the gameplay, booster pack openings, deck techs, live streams, and so much more. Support us if you'd like to on the Patreon. I think that link has been scattered throughout the course of this chat here. Or for free, just join us on the Discord where you can meet up with a bunch of fiery friends. We can chat about Magic or whatever you want and just hang out in a nice little chill area. Your support helps keep this channel going. All links, of course, are going to be in the details as soon as the stream is over. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, this is a balanced hand. So we got Graveyard Hate, we got Removal. I think we should be good with this. Inquisition Kozilek, okay. Opponent is going to start off by throwing away some stuff. Definitely a powerful card in this format. What do they throw away, though? I think that kind of will determine where we go. Oh, throw away our Graveyard Aid. So that probably means they don't want us to exile stuff. That is an interesting one. Okay. Pay 2 life. Pass. So we do have a Bolt or a Fatal Push up depending on what they play. Thoughtseize. Okay. Opponent is gonna try to slow down our game plan a lot here. They probably might throw away the Dark Confidant because that would allow us to then redraw more cards. Opponents, what you picking? Yep. Dark Confidant. Okay. Not sure what our opponent's trying to do, but okay. We'll see soon enough. Verdant Catacombs. Well, opponent still can see what we have because I had to throw that down, but at least with a Surveil Land, maybe that'll help us find what we need. Okay. Alright. Okay. Opponent throws away land. Alright. So they get their draw better fixed. Still anybody's game, though. Okay. They shocked themselves. Liliana, the last hope. Okay. They tick up or down?
My way tend to regret it.
They tick up. Okay. They go up to 4.
Losing?
Crack our Verdant Catacombs.
Sorry, I'm not familiar.
And then I guess we'll get out... What is it? Underground Mortuary? Surveil. Maybe we might need that elf. We'll hold on to that. Let's see. Play the forest. We play our Liliana. Tick up.
But I'm
Okay,
taking the
let me
credit.
throw away.
We all have things we'd rather forget.
I think we'll throw away the lightning bolt. Opponent throws away their Dark Confidant. Okay. I forgot that technically Dark Confidant already came to us months ago, I realized, from Jumpstart, but we didn't play it just yet. Okay, opponents. Assassin's Trophy. Oh, wow. Is our opponent playing Jund
Luck
too, like
favors the
us?
foolish, after
Well,
all.
I guess we'll see who is the better Jund player in just a little bit. Let's get the mountain. Okay, opponents. I see your game plan here. This will be a hilarious one to finish up the stream, though. Jund versus Jund. Which version is the stronger one that we built? Okay, opponent mills 2.
All in a
They
day's
get back
work.
most likely like Dark Confidants. Do they play it? Yep, they do. Okay. Well, so here's how we do this. First off, Fatal Push away their Dark Confidants. Play our Bloodbraid Elf. So we can take out their Liliana. Nice, and we also get a Tarmogoyf off the top. Liliana goes bye-bye.
The others.
And just like that, the game now goes into our favor. But it still could be anybody's match. Oh, yeah. I do feel like it's literally the mirror match on this one. Okay, so Fatal Push. Okay. Down to 4. Assassin's Trophy away. Fable there. Nice. It does give him another land, but that pumps up Tarmogoyf. Our opponent now has, at best, 2 turns to stop us. 2 cards in hand, we are out. Do they have an answer? Scavenging. Ooh. Okay. I mean, that's to be expected, because if they're playing Jund like us, then... yeah. They can gain some life back, and that does weaken Tarmogoyf, which is something I didn't talk about earlier, but that is one of the awkward weaknesses to this deck. While this deck does run Scavenging Ooze on our own, it does kind of mess a little bit with Tarmogoyf if you don't have extra copies of creature types. So he can get stronger, and that might weaken our Tarmogoyf just a smidge. But our opponent still isn't down, but neither are we. I still don't know what their last card is, so this could still go either way. Okay, so... opponents. Opponent's thinking. Opponents? Oh, they're thinking hard on this one. On the other hand, if they have something they need to play, that means they can't have Scavenging Ooze do its thing either. Tricky turn for everybody here. But let's see if our aggression paid off. Oh boy. Oh boy. The tension. Oh! Oh! Okay. Opponent gave up. Yay! We took game 1. Okay, so... well... this is going to be an interesting one now. Now I don't know which way to go with this deck. Okay. If they're playing the same deck as us, how do we out-sideboard our own game plan? Man. I'm not sure about this one. This could go either way. Well, we know that for sure with their game plan. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to anticipate our Tarmogoyfs, so I might have to actually get rid of the Goyfs. Bring in Sheoldred's Edict, so that way we can also take care of their Lilianas at instant speed. I think Kroaxa would be good here too, because we can get him back from the graveyard. And then... maybe the Assassin's Trophy. Okay, so we'll go a little bit more on the controlling side, just to make sure we can keep them under control. Let's see if this plan works. We cut our Goyfs to bring in more removal. We'll see if that's a payoff for us. Because I'm anticipating they probably have a ways to get around our Goyfs anyway with, like, fatal pushes. So, okay. So with this hand, it's a little slow with the Surveil Lamp, but that's okay. We don't need Dark Confidant to go off immediately, but we do need red mana quickly if we want to make sure we can cast Bolt, Bloodbraid, and Fable on time. Okay, trying to shock themselves, that's fine. Let's see here. Pay the 2 as well. All right, opponents, what you got?
It's time.
Bring it on.
Duel.
Nothing yet. Okay. Play the Wooded Foothills and pass. So to answer your question, Sneaky Toilet, I don't know. I still want to answer that. I just awkwardly haven't been listening to anything on the radio recently or anything like that's popping. I guess I would say. I don't even know. Actually, I really don't know. Actually, I'll give you an answer, of course, before we're done. How about that? I think we can do that. Got Converted Catacombs. Okay, so our opponent is still not quite playing anything. But I think that means we might have... maybe they don't have the mana? Veil of Summer. Okay. Not what I was expecting them to play, but okay. Did they not get their lands? They didn't. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I mean, that means a free win there.
And we rank up to Platinum 2. All right. Feel good about that one. Although it wasn't much of an exciting match, but hey, a win's a win, so we'll take it. Any case, I did say that was going to be the final one, so I know that was an exciting one there, but it is going to be the last one today, everybody, because there are going to be some things this little fireball does have to take care of. Also because I have not eaten today, so I am actually kind of hungry, so I probably should be eating lunch now. But before we go, as always, let's go ahead, let's talk about the deck overall, and let's talk about Modern Jund in Timeless. I don't know if I should have called it Timeless Jund. Nah, I still think Modern Jund, because it really does feel like it's supposed to be that style. So that was the Jund deck for you, reinterpreted, I guess, from Modern into Timeless. So you tell me in the comments below, everybody, what do you think? Would you play this deck in any way, shape, or form? Yes, I know it is not our usual budget style, but just for today, I wanted to try something a little more stronger, just based upon some of the classic builds that we have. And honestly, I think it holds up. The upgrades that we gave it to modernize the deck, modernize it, but seriously, modernizing the deck in 2025, Jund, I still think can do some good stuff here. You do need to do a couple of tweaks here and there to get the most value out of it. But even if I was to dare say, I know some people are probably going to cook me for this one, but seriously, I think this actually does have a shot even in actual paper Modern. Yes, there's a lot of things that we might have to anticipate, but I think the deck does pretty well overall, all things considered. So would I recommend this? If you can afford it, it's expensive, but if you can, definitely give it a shot. This is a fun deck. There's a lot you can do with it, but you definitely need to practice it a little bit just to make sure you can get the right plays. This is definitely a deck where you don't want to misplay too much on. Thankfully today, though, even though I kind of made maybe, I don't know if I really misplayed today, but even if I did, it didn't really feel like I misplayed anything. The deck definitely feels very solid overall. Keep in mind, however, the only tricky part is anticipating what to fetch, when to fetch it. In other words, with which are fetch lands, there are going to be times you want to get your tri-land out to make sure you fix appropriately. There's going to be times you definitely want to get out instead of surveil land to make sure you can filter your next draw step. Those kinds of plays with the way this deck plays is very important to making sure you get the most value out of it. Sometimes you do want to have one of your shock lands come in tapped, so that way you don't shock yourselves. Or sometimes you may need to actually get a basic out, just that way you can get what you need with minimal downside. Keep those things in mind if you do want to play this deck, so practice it if you're able to. I don't know if let's see, I guess I would probably still tweak the sideboard a little bit more. I don't know if the Orcish Bowmasters would really be helpful. Mostly this is in here just to anticipate opponents that try to get cheeky with card draw and then punishing them for it by getting us bigger stuff. So this is mostly just a swap in and out with Tarmogoyfs here. So I think that's probably the only thought process I had when it came to this. Kroaxa came in clutch, so I was really happy that actually was in there. And again, you can kind of tweak a couple things here and there. It really just depends on what the meta is throwing at you. But it still worked really well, all things considered. So definitely play it if you can afford it. I assure you, you will not be disappointed. Now, before we completely end the stream today, if you're interested in seeing what is to come, those of you that have been still watching to this point in the video, thanks as always, because you are my true fiery friends. So to give you an idea as to what's to come, we're still going to play with it still. I know you guys voted on getting Modern Jund, but we're still going to want to do a life gain mill deck. There is technically one card, that I did mention this from the last stream, that goes perfectly into this, but it won't come out until Edge of Eternities. And honestly, I really want to play this deck before that happens. So this is going to be our life gain deck, our life gain mill deck that we'll be playing on the next stream. Next week, I believe Tuesday or Wednesday. Don't worry, I will announce officially the date soon. We're continuing our edits of basically Finn, so this is our next ultra budget deck. We'll be doing that as quick as possible, and but again, we will kind of figure out from there. Well, depending on what my schedule looks like, there's some things that might get shuffled around this week, everyone. Still, though, basically Finn is going to be our next ultra budget deck coming out soon. As far as anything beyond that, there's really maybe like one or two cards I have yet to actually crack an actual like wild cards. But with us trying to save up as much as possible gold for Edge of Eternities, it's going to be whatever probably pops into my head for the next couple of streams. Most likely it's going to be another also basically deck at the end of the month to then finish out at least the monocolor versions of basically decks. So that'll mean a mono red build will be coming up. As for what we're building around, well, you'll have to wait and see once we get to our next stream. Most likely I'll announce it there. But otherwise, that is it for today, everybody. We're going to be ending it, I know, a little earlier than beforehand, but again, I just got to take care of other things. So thank you still everybody that were watching today. So shout outs to everyone again. Sneaky Toilet, thanks again for holding down the chat. Cookie, thanks again. I know you're not here anymore, but I appreciate you being here. Dan Splendid, I know you popped in for a hot minute there, but thanks again for joining us just the same. And for those of you that are watching on other locations, was it BSpec TV also, again, over on Instagram. Thanks again for watching there. And anybody else is watching across other formats, if I don't get your name from the chat, I do apologize. But I still appreciate you showing up, as always, just the same. Oh, and then finally, beforehand, to answer your question, Sneaky Toilet, Backstreet Boys. I know that sounds a little goofy, but hey, I still have a little soft spot for the boy bands when I was growing up as a young fireball back in the day. So yeah, I want it that way. I do like that song. It's actually one of my favorites. And yes, I was trying to be one of those smooth, cool guys back in the day, thinking I could sing that song in and see if I can wow some gals. But again, that was some lore for you from back in the day, although it never really worked, by the way. Any case, that is the answering your question for that one. So otherwise, that's it for today, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy catching up with all the cards that are from Edge of Eternities. We'll probably try to see if we can take time next week on stream to talk about that a little bit, or if nothing else, I'll highlight one or two of those in an upcoming YouTube short that'll be out at least within the next week or so. Otherwise, once more time, have a wonderful day, everybody. We'll get a chance to do this again soon enough. I will announce when that stream is. It might be a off day that we usually don't stream, but again, that announcement will come soon. But as always, before we end completely, just remember that no matter what you do play in the game of life, always be sure to burn brightly. We'll see you again next week, everybody. Later.